There have been a lot of developments since we last went to the floor, and Sakina's there to try and get some reaction here at the National Results Centre for the IEC. Let's go to her now and find out how the political parties are feeling 10% into those total votes captured. Sakina?
Indeed, Leanne, and as you say, still on 10.02% of the vote, but the IEC says they will be updating rather frequently, a few minutes apart at this stage. So we wait to see, and of course you've got your eye trained on that. I must tell you that you don't want to go anywhere because the CSIR are working on that model and it's looking very interesting. Stay with us. We will be able to, in a short while, give you a prediction of just how this is going to, we think, pan out, because this model hasn't failed us, Leanne, in all of the years that the SABC has partnered with the CSIR since the 1999 election. So you want to stay with us. You don't want to miss this. But of course, I'm just going to take a quick look at who's here on the floor, find out how the parties are feeling. EFF here in the front. Ma'am, she's shaking her head, she's ignoring me, not trying to get into this. But of course, we're going to check in with the other parties. I'm here at ELF-SA, that's the Economic Liberators Forum South Africa. And we have here Muleleke. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. Are you good is the question.
I'm wonderful. I'm excited. I'm happy.
What are you excited about? How are things going for you? Are you tracking the numbers that you were hoping to get?
It's still early, but so far so good. I'm looking at provinces that I know that once they kick in, that is when we're going to see the games begin. So for as far as Limpopo is still where in Northwest, I'm relaxed.
So what are you hoping to poll in Limpopo? How many seats in the legislature are you hoping to garner there?
Let's trust the IEC, but Limpopo is taking us to Parliament.
How many seats in the legislature and how many in the National Assembly and the Council of Provinces?
It's still early.
But you have a prediction.
A lovely surprise.
What are you hoping?
4 seats at legislature in Limpopo. That is safe.
Okay. We'll come back. We'll come back once those results are known. Thanks so much. That's ELF, and they're telling us what their prediction is. They're hoping for 4 seats in the Limpopo legislature. All right, we are now, I bumped into Dawie Roodt of the Efficient Group. And Dawie, of course, you know, this election a very important one for us. And as it is an economist, surely you guys are also looking at this and looking at various scenarios. So what are you making of what we're seeing so far?
Well, it seems to me as most of the predictions are coming true more or less, but I'm waiting for you to give us the most updated numbers. But I think the good case scenario for the financial market is the ANC getting less than 50%, but not less than 45%. So a coalition between the ANC and the smaller political parties, that's probably something that the financial markets are hoping for. And that's what the financial markets have been discounting mostly. Yesterday and today, we saw the rand a little bit under pressure, and but we saw the capital market appreciating a little bit. So I don't think the financial markets are telling us much yet. So during the day and after you've given your numbers, maybe we'll see some reaction by the financial markets. But I would say that's the best possible scenario. ANC, smaller political parties.
So which smaller political parties would the market favour? Because if we look at how MK is doing, would that be something that's favourable to the market, or an EFF? What would the market like to see?
Now, when I talk about the smaller political parties, I talk about the really tiny ones, 1, 2, 3% kind of things. And that will probably be enough. It's 45% for the ANC, and 2 or 3 of the smaller ones will probably push them over 50%. So I'm not talking about the EFF or talking the MK. They are the bigger, smaller parties, if you like. So probably the smaller, the Goods and those kind of political parties, I think, will be enough for the ANC to go over 50%. But that really depends on whether they're going to get to 45. If they get less than 45%, then they have to look at the bigger parties. And there are 2 options, basically. That's the far left, the EFF, MK, or slightly to their right, that's a DA, which the financial markets obviously will favour a coalition between the ANC and the DA.
So from what you're saying, essentially the market would like to see more of the same.
Well, I think the financial markets would like to see the ANC punished because the ANC messed up big time in various levels. But the financial markets do not want to see the ANC disappearing. So punish them a little bit, but pull them a little bit to the right in a coalition, some kind of coalition with some of the other political parties. I think important to understand as well, it's not only the ANC coalition with somebody else, it's who in the ANC, because there are various factions within the ANC as well. So it depends on who's in charge of the ANC, and there are some happenings going on there as well.
So what are we seeing? Because yesterday, of course, we had a public holiday, but other markets were trading. The markets, one would imagine, would have factored in the risk at this point. But anything noteworthy?
Well, if you go back two months ago or so, the markets were factoring in the possibility of an EFF-ANC RAF kind of alliance, and the markets didn't like that. Rand collapsed, went into over 19 to the US, for example, and the bond market weakened quite a lot. But the last same 2-3 weeks, the markets started discounting the possibility of a coalition slightly to the right, and the Rand did very, very well. And also the capital market. I think the capital market is perhaps more important. If you look at last week's auction, there was a lot of interest in the capital market. That's a sign of slight confidence returning to South Africa. But you know, if you're a foreigner and you look at South Africa, there are three important things. You've got a very cheap currency, so you can buy into South Africa very cheaply. The entrance is very cheap with the cheap currency. Secondly, you've got very attractive yields, between 10 and 12% on the capital market. And thirdly, you've got a very, very liquid market. So even if you don't have confidence in South Africa, this is a very attractive short-term bite out of the apple kind of scenario. So even in not a very good scenario in terms of the outcome of the elections, I won't be surprised after a couple of days that we see foreigners come in, take a bite out of the apple and run again. So because South Africa is really very, very attractive. And imagine, just imagine, we've got the right outcome of the election, something the financial markets like. I can easily see the Rand going to 17.5. I can easily see the bond market running another 200 bips. I can easily see the JSE going 20% up. There's really a good potential case scenario, depending on the outcome of the elections, of course.
Well, thank you so much, Dawie Roodt of the Efficient Group, and very, very interesting sentiments there, Dawie. And I think also, as I always say, investors are not philanthropic. They are here because this is a good place to be. And of course, there's money to be made. All right, we are going to take a quick peek. Still 10.02% of the vote counting complete, and 7,888,977 votes. That is the number that has been counted at this stage.